Salutations, fellow readers, writers, and killers of time on YouTube. My name is Martha Jones, and I have a relationship with Halloween. As a result, when the weather turns October-ish, I am frequently brought into the remembrance of a genre called paranormal romance. No, not that one. Thank you. Be gone. My most recently departed grandmom left us a bottle of semi-legitimate holy water, apparently. The book about which I would like to talk with you today is by Louisa Alcott, and it is called A Long and Fatal Love Chase. Decidedly off-brand for Alcott, and even in her lifetime, her publisher, she, or both, recognized that it was off-brand and undertook the project in hopes that it would be published under Alcott's pen name, A.M. Bernard, one she occasionally used for some of her saucier titles. Long and Fatal Love Chase, like other Alcott titles before it, invited comparisons to Faust, but if I were pitching this to a publisher, I would pitch it as the myth of Persephone if Persephone was a runaway bride. Interestingly, this particular title was one that my publisher pitched to me as material for the old reading queue, and my publisher described it as like Dickens, only good, which I don't think Dickens fans would think is a fair comparison, but it's a quick read. It is pulpy and melodramatic in the nicest possible way, and the pacing, the time period, and the fact that it was written as a serial but never released as one, at least in my opinion, puts it fairly on par with works like Great Expectations. And the fact that some readers will take melodrama from Dickens but they will not take it from Alcott wouldn't have to be a sexism thing. I actually purchased my copy used, and the previous owner wrote, "Reviews are exaggerated sensationalism," which is not an invalid opinion, but if you have it for this particular Alcott offering, you really ought to have it for Dickens. The protagonist of Love Chase is named Rosamond, and her story starts out not too terribly unlike that of Not Like Other Girls. "I tell you I cannot bear it. I shall do something desperate if this life is not changed soon. It gets worse and worse. I often feel as if I'd gladly sell my soul to Satan for a year of freedom." Enter her gallant hero, a grown-damn man who knows a sucker when he sees one and looks suspiciously like grandfather's old portrait of Mephistopheles. Also, wherever Mr. Tempest goes, storms are sure to follow. And while it is never made plain if Mr. Tempest does or does not have a touch of immortality, he does have a splendid knack for surviving duels. He is more bulletproof than the average fellow and uses this to his advantage when he kills the fools in duels whose wives he likes to seduce. Charming man. But not to worry, Rose's guardian is just as charming. He loses Rose to Tempest in a card game, whereafter Mr. Tempest, no doubt a fan of Milton, goes, "Come live with me and be my love." At which point Rosamond, no doubt a fan of Sandra Dee, goes, "I won't hop into bed till I'm legally wed." So they find a minister, some bells are said, and they have a wonderful time tooling around on Mr. Tempest's yacht till about chapter 5. At which point Mr. Tempest starts killing fools again. A mysterious lady shows up. Rose's dearest friend has disappeared, and she learns that her marriage is a sham perpetrated by a man who already has a wife and family. Now, Rosamond didn't care about the murders that happened before she and Tempest hooked up, which is cute. But on finding they were still happening, and that she'd been lied to, and that there was a bunch of things going wrong, our Not Like Other Girls protagonist goes, "I don't like where this is going. I think I'll leave." Which, credit where credit is due, is further than some of them get. End of the chase begins. Now, unlike some paranormal/gothic romances, there's no hellfire, there's no dark omens, there's no stakes through the heart. But I feel like this is a valid read of your devil character because he is selfish, bored, resourceful, and relentless. And if you were around for a long time and you've played this game before, you generally don't use hellfire, you use finesse. And as the reader, you, like Rosamond, are conflicted for about 2/3 of the book. Like intellectually, Rosamond knows that he's not a good dude, but she desperately misses the guy she fell in love with. Would that Mr. Tempest ever come back if I gave him a chance? Did that Mr. Tempest ever exist? And then at some point we are no longer conflicted. Mr. Tempest is a bad man who does bad things and he needs to go in the ground. Before we talk about why he needs to go in the ground, I'm just going to put this here for a minute. Sensationalist or no, this book contains some pretty effective passages on abuse. If you don't feel up to that today, that is quite alright. Feel free to skip to this time signature. Just in time for the spoilers. So after chasing Rosamond to multiple countries, hunting her down in boarding houses and convents, making her feel isolated, using her friends against her, Rosamond gets so desperate to escape this fellow that she shoots herself. Not fatally, that's not the fatal part of the love chase. Rather than let this desperate woman go on her way, Mr. Tempest convinces people that she is crazy and puts her in an asylum. So after doing some brutal time there, and understandably emerging a little worse for wear, Mr. Tempest again tracks her down and says this: "Curse that Gerard, he exceeded orders. I bade him break her spirit, and he has destroyed her health." Oh, it's the asylum's manager's fault that she's so messed up. You see, from Mr. Tempest's point of view, he's gotten to a much more difficult level of the game. The object is to keep her unbalanced enough that she believes his word over her senses, but not drive her too crazy, otherwise she won't be of any use to him. I realize that narcissism is fast becoming one of those meaningless internet buzzwords, but this is an uncomfortably clear reflection of a lot of relationships. But there's so much hopeful stuff in it, too. Like, yes, Mr. Tempest is all about trickery and making Rosamund feel isolated, but her feelings of isolation are deceptive. She is so loved wherever she goes, and she has friends. When your book is entitled Long and Fatal Love Chase, there's only so much optimism you can have for the bitter end. One of my favorite passages, massive spoilers, but it's just a little too cool not to talk about. After the asylum, Rosamund's self-preservation instincts kick in, and for a while she toys with the idea of going back to Mr. Tempest. He works really hard to win her back. He even sings to her. He never sang to her before. He was too dignified to sing before. So he's pulling out all the stops to try to win this woman back, after putting her in an asylum, after driving away her friends. But she hasn't forgotten her friends. She has a dear, dear friend in the acting community by the name of Honorine, and she has a buddy named Ignatius who was looking out for her while she was at the convent. And at one point or another, in the wooing back process, Mr. Tempest is showing off. Kind of teeters on the edge of a precipice trying to fetch Rose flowers. And Ignatius hops out of the bushes and straight up chucks him off a cliff. It's so good, and it's so cathartic for anybody who has lived through this nonsense. And sometimes that's how it works. The abuser works incredibly hard to make you disinclined to leave him. Often it takes somebody from outside looking at your situation and going, hell no, before you can rally whatever strength you got in you and get away. As always, thank you for giving these videos a shot. I post whenever I can. Meantime, take it easy. Loves you. Bye.
Like my channel, buy my crap, doo-dah, doo-dah. There's no time to take a nap, oh the doo-dah day. Hey!